What is going on, guys? I'm Director Nat, back for another reaction, and today is the mid-season premiere for two of my favorite shows, and we are kicking things off with The Owl House. It feels good to be wearing my Bad Girl Coven shirt again, and here's the teal shirt that I'm going to be wearing for my Amphibia reaction, because I did not think to get any more cool Owl House or Amphibia shirts, but hopefully I will correct that by next time. But yeah, guys, I am so excited. I am ready for this. This past week, I have been marathoning both shows, actually. I've been watching them together in release order, which I actually posted that order in my community tab if you want to go check that out. I thought it would be a fun way to take a trip down memory lane and get used to watching both shows together since they're both going to be airing around the same time on Saturdays. So I'm excited to see what we've got in store. Today's episode of The Owl House is called Follies at the Coven Day Parade. Now, thankfully, I don't know too much about this episode. I avoided the season trailer that they released about a week ago, and I haven't read any plot details. I do know that the episode is going to start with Luz making another message to her mom. I caught a little bit of the beginning while I was queuing up the episode. And the thumbnail shows a bunch of citizens looking at the Emperor making a speech, or maybe like a hologram of the Emperor, I'm not totally sure. And of course the title itself gives us some clues. There's going to be some kind of parade for each of the covens, and that seems like a perfect opportunity for some conflict to go down. And just in general, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the rest of the show, because I loved the first half of season 2. It was absolutely fantastic, and they did a great job with making it fun while still balancing everything that they need to. But you could also tell that they were kind of forced to rush things just a little bit. You can tell that they combined certain plots together that they may not have otherwise, and they really had to get to a lot of the important stuff because they're just not going to have a full-length season 3. Again, I don't think that affected the quality of the season, and I don't think it's going to affect the quality of the second half of season 2. It just makes me curious to see what the rest of the show is going to be like, especially since season 3 is only going to be 3 double-length episodes. And of course, going into the second half of the season means we're just getting closer and closer to the end of the show, and that obviously is scary to think about, but there's also just so many things that could go down. Which characters will survive, which relationships will remain intact, even if our heroes do succeed, what are the consequences going to be? These are all the questions that you have to ask yourself as you get closer to the end of a story that you love. But Dana Terrace and her team have done an excellent job with this show so far. They haven't let me down yet, and I'm thoroughly excited to see what this season has to offer. So I guess we shouldn't waste any more time. Let's just get right into it, folks. The second half of Owl House Season 2. I do not know if I'm ready for this.
I know you don't want me staying in the demon realm, but I'm recording this because I think we can find a middle ground.
Okay, yeah.
Just look.
I'm not gonna go back and rewind because it'll make it harder to edit the video later, but let me just make sure I understood what that was. That was Hootie taking off his skin to wash it. You know, it's already weird enough thinking about the fact that there's apparently no end to Hootie, but for some reason a skeleton never came into it because stretching it. Why don't we just keep going?
Human! If you ever do that again, I will set your eyes on fire!
You know what happens when you're burned alive? Your eyeballs explode. Blah!
Oh, this isn't going well.
There's no safer place than Hexside School of Magic and Demonics.
The well-being of our students is our top priority, which is why we send all our troublemakers to our new and improved detention pit.
Please, no! Help me!
What does it look like now?
That's enough of that.
Wow, that was a really interesting start. She immediately got to a strategy, but because I knew she has good stuff to say about her life on the Boiling Isles, but obviously she's got to acknowledge all this too. All right. Okay. Follies at the Coven Day Parade.
I heard there's just a mirror underneath. The real emperor was society all along.
So handsome, people have a hard time focusing on what he says. I get it. I can relate.
No, he's actually not that bad looking. Look at him.
Luce, you've seen Bellos up close. What's he like under all that?
She doesn't know either.
I heard he's scarred from wild magic.
Good on you, Amity.
Hola, Batata. You just call me a sweet potato?
Yes, is that not a term of endearment? I'm still figuring out this human language book from Gus.
Aww.
I'm your host, a player named Gus. So sit back and chillax with me as I take you on a funky ride. If you don't scream, well, I sure enough won't holler. You feel me, white chocolate?
Amity, you're the sweet potato.
Did that Titan blood ever come in handy?
Did you finish building the door?
Did you visit your mom?
Oh,
Promise me, when you come home, you'll stay with me and you'll never go back to that place.
Mom, it's not you. It never...
Did they change the dialogue a little bit?
When you come home, promise you'll stay here. I didn't mean to push you away. I swear things will be different.
Mom, it's not you. It never was.
Promise me, Luz, please. When you come home, you'll stay with me and you'll never go back to that place.
Mom, it's not you. It never was.
Please.
Okay, Mom. I promise. I haven't used the door yet. I'm waiting for a good moment. You know? Later, taters.
I love those two. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh dear. I didn't think that everyone would find out that fast.
On the charm that turns people into obedient zombies.
Oh, so she did tell them that her mom wanted her to... Okay, so at least she's telling somebody the truth.
Probably prepping for the annual Coven Day parade. Floats, streamers, fireworks.
It's just a fancy way to kiss the Emperor's... whatever.
I love that they know that the show is ending anyway, and so they just don't care.
Seeing anyone? Yes, I am standing up straight. Listen, I can't come home. If I don't lead this parade, Bellows will end my... No, of course I miss everyone. What? I can't choose. Hello? Mother?
You know, I'm really interested to see where this goes because, like I said, I've tried to avoid as much behind-the-scenes material as I can, but I did hear somewhere, like, I think maybe it was a panel with the voice actors they did recently, that the voice actors for Kikimora, she said that she sees Kiki, or Kiki sees her, wants to be the hero, but she doesn't know how to be. I just thought that was interesting because, you know, that's not how Kiki has come off in this show at all so far. But then again, a lot of the characters who have been redeemed or we've seen a better side of them didn't come across that way at first. So I think it's interesting that now we're getting to see a little peek at what her life is like, you know, the conflict that her job creates with her family, because it makes sense. If you're gonna rise to the top, it's gonna mean some sacrifice with your personal life. So maybe this is kind of what her voice actress was talking about when she was getting at that. So I guess I'm gonna have to pay a little more attention to her now.
I know it'll cheer you up.
Aw, no bread puns today, buddy.
Aw.
I'm talking about hot goss, girl. Hot goss buns. Bread pun.
King?
Ida hired someone to spy on her ex.
Did you read my diary?
And they're head witch of the Bard Coven.
Oh, no.
They secretly led a rebel group against the Emperor and got captured. I was there!
Oh.
Yeah.
Good job. You broke loose.
It was the yeast I could do.
And sacrificed everything to save Ida? It's just like Hecate and Azora in book 5.
According to this...
Did she even record the music?
Maybe you can ask them about it.
Oh, I didn't think about them still making an appearance in public, but I guess that makes sense. What the?
She said if I don't make it back for the family...
This feels like one of Maury Mark's fan fictions. I love it.
Kikimora nearly turned me to stone. She attacked you back in Latissa, and she didn't blink when your girlfriend was thrown down a pit. Oh, she is bad. And not the hot kind of bad. But what are you getting out of this?
Just a sucker for romantic reunions? We're gonna help you by kidnapping you and Rain.
What?
Oh. I do find it a little hard to believe that Kiki would go along with this even for personal reasons, but, you know, I'll roll with it for now.
Now Mr. Morton is happy, and Pearl and the cat are too. They're the subject of the sentence, and what the predicate says, they do.
11. That's how many times I was sent to the healing coven.
Are these legal?
Would that make you more or less interested in buying them?
I'm loving this. I'm loving every second of it. I forgot how much I enjoy recording these reactions, and this is why.
She'll get the best of both worlds. She'll set an example for us all.
Oh, now I get it.
To Rain, it's romantic.
Oh, it's not that romantic.
Which, this is peak of Mount Romance.
I love whenever they use that as a placeholder. Oh, dang. Are we getting some more Willow focus?
Amity.
That's what everyone's been complaining about.
It's been a while since I came here on my own.
Yeah, I guess it has.
Oh, I love this.
You okay? So Luce has been acting super weird, and I think she's lying about her trip to the human realm, and she
Oh.
Luce says she hasn't been to the human realm, but I just get the feeling that she's lying. And I can find out the truth by watching this. But I'm not gonna invade her privacy like that. Would you? Willow?
Listen, Blake, if you want my advice, there's something you have to do for me.
Hmm?
Do you still know how to braid hair?
Okay, but I am a little rusty. I'm glad we can be like this again.
I love this. Em was doing this for her in episode 5, and now she's doing it for Willow. It's so nice when even small details come full circle.
They were sick for a while.
Oh!
They're good as new.
Tara!
Tara.
Tara's been helping me recover. I can't remember anything with these headaches.
Oh.
You're not trying to leave, are you? Come. The parade is about to begin.
I was in marching band in high school. I always wanted to learn to play the violin. Maybe I will.
It's almost time.
I want that watch.
4, 3.
Hootie, stop freaking me out. What if that turns out to be an ability that Bellis can actually do? Like he shoots something out of his eyes.
And scoop.
Oh, wow. Sports.
What sayeth you, fiend?
That's right. I, Hecate, will whisk you away to my kingdom of mirrors and...
Hecate?
Knock it off, you two. Let's get cracking.
It's cool to see how far Ida has come with using glyphs.
How do we get out of here? We're gonna have to be sneaky. Hi, it's me, your good buddy Bellows. Worship me!
Kill that monstrosity!
Not the first time I've heard that!
Hootie is just, he's something else.
Ida, what are you doing here?
I had to make sure you were okay after that fight with Darius and Eber.
What fight?
It was just a few weeks ago. I was with you.
Ida, I spent the last month sick in bed, and we haven't spoken in years.
Oh.
So move aside.
No. I'm not leaving till I get through to you.
Oh dear.
We can do this the hard way.
If we're caught, she will end us.
Who will end us?
Oh dear. Also like that we're seeing more head witches in action.
Terra Snapdragon.
Snapdragon?
Law is meaningless! Stealing is legal now! I am your god!
What a shame that Kikimora would disappear, and right before her promotion.
Promotion?
Oh, all the missions she would have led? The shiny new badge? The respect? Guess we'll have to find someone else!
Oh, great. She's not falling for it, and she wants Kiki dead. Oh, this is karma for when Kiki tried to kill Hunter.
How did you know? Book 5, Chapter 8, Azura pretends to kidnap Hecate during the Ice Festival to save her from the Wizard Clan.
You remembered my favorite part.
Ooh.
See, I like that we're getting more of this, like they actually get to, you know, interact as a couple now, and they're becoming more casual with it.
Did you forget this, too?
Why won't you just leave me alone? Move. Please. So be it.
I think I heard something over here.
Head Witch, are you there?
Surround the area.
Go home. Maybe travel for a bit. Just don't contact me again. I work for the Emperor, after all.
Head Witch, are you hurt?
No, not badly. Let's return to the parade.
Princess here will get you back to your family in Palm Stings by morning.
Palm Stings?
You're walking proof that you don't have to choose between worlds.
You really are a kind person. And an utter fool.
What? I'm confused.
Stings can burn for all I care. You heard, Tara. They want to promote me. Me! Maybe as a thank you, I could give Bellows a few gifts. A troublemaking human. And you're the little fire starter from Eclipse Lake.
So this whole thing was just a plan to capture them? You know what, that makes sense.
You got him.
Whoa.
Thank you, Luz, for all the help.
You're welcome. I mean, dang it.
Oh, Kiki. Try not to get ahead of yourself. The Emperor has a great many plans, but causing a riot by hurting a couple of children is not one of them. I wasn't sent here to watch over Rain. I was sent here to watch over you. The promotion is real. You just had to prove your dedication.
Did I pass?
Unfortunately, yes.
So, what's the promotion? Who's under my command?
You get to live.
What? I'm very confused.
The Emperor says he's looking forward to meeting you, human. Until then, happy Coven Day.
Amity, you saved me. How can I make it up to you?
Maybe you can tell me about this? Don't worry, I haven't watched it. But you did finish the portal door. You did see your mom. And it looks like it didn't go well.
I'm sorry.
I know this situation is crazy, and I'm okay taking things one day at a time. But I can't help if I don't know what's going on.
You just looked so hopeful. You were even learning Spanish. And I thought if I helped out Kikimora, maybe there'd be hope for me.
Tell me what happened.
Okay. So, I had finished the door.
Wow. Didn't expect that so soon, but I'm glad she's telling the truth.
This year is extra special because the Emperor himself has an announcement to make.
Oh. Here comes the thumbnail.
Together we are perfecting the Coven system as the Titan intended. The Day of Unity will be in exactly 1 month, when the tide is at its lowest and the moon obscures the sun. At that time, we will journey to the head of the Isles, and there, the worthy shall inherit a utopia free of wild magic.
Free of wild magic? How's he supposed to do that?
There is one more thing I'd like to share with you. I've always hidden my face out of fear. But because of your support, I can finally take off this mask. Thank you, Boiling Isles.
We love you, Grandpa!
Is that like meta commentary on the fan base's general reaction? Like, oh, yeah.
Say he's gonna meet you again. Didn't you already meet? What else don't I know? What's gonna happen?
Wait, what?
I'm not sure. But for now...
Yeah, that is an interesting point. I was kind of thinking about that too. Oh my god. Oh. I've got so many things to say, but I'm gonna wait until the credits over. Maybe write some things down first so I don't lose my train of thought. Okay, guys, so that was The Owl House, Season 2, Episode 11, Follies at the Coven Day Parade. This is why reacting to this show as it airs is the most fun that I have on this channel, because not only do I get to experience something new with everybody else, but god, it's just so good. Oh. This is a fantastic episode. I loved just about everything about it, and there is a lot to talk about, so let's just go through everything one at a time. So I thought it was cool starting the episode with Luz making another message to her mom. I think it's smart that she would want to start that way because her mom just told her, hey, I never want you to go back there again. But so she's like, hey, I'll show her all the great things. But of course that backfires because there's a lot wrong with the Boiling Isles too, or a lot that at least seems wrong on the surface. And I'm still not over that Hootie thing. It's like, they probably have a weekly meeting where all the writers just sit down and they're like, okay, how can we make Hootie as weird and terrifying as possible? And they just throw in a bunch of ideas, and Dana Terrace is like, yes, yes, and yes. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's just, it's a lot. I saw a lot of other funny and interesting moments in that opening too. Like, I'm curious to see what the detention pit looks like now. Like, does it look similar to what it was before? Is it just this black mysterious void that has unspeakable horrors? In my headcanon, I'm gonna go with the second one because that seems like an improvement that Bump would make. I also love all the moments that were kind of meta in this episode, with the characters kind of representing the audience by asking a lot of questions. Like at the beginning, Willow and Gus are speculating on what Bellows looks like under the mask, just like we all did before the eventual reveal. And then when his face is revealed at the end of the episode, like I bet that was kind of supposed to be like mixed fan reactions. On the one hand, finally getting to see his face, you know, is a big surprise, but then when you realize that he's kind of normal looking apart from his scar, you're probably like, oh, wait a minute. And we gotta talk about the episode highlight, as always, Luz, Amity, Luz and Amity, Lumity. I just love every time that we get more of those two. They're basically tied for my favorite character for different reasons, so especially getting to see them working together is just all kinds of adorable and awesome. Because that was the one thing we didn't get to see too much of at the end of the first half of the season, because we saw them become a couple, and then we had one episode where they were a couple, but they spent most of it apart, so now we're getting to see them interact as a couple on a regular basis, and, you know, there's still all those, you know, freak out moments that we've come to love, but they're also kind of getting more casual with it and still being able to be themselves and bring out different sides of each other. So everything about them I just absolutely loved, as always. But if we're talking about things that surprised me in this episode, we've got to talk about Kikimora, because I did not see this coming, but because I had heard her voice actress mention what I was talking about, that Kiki sees herself as the hero, but she doesn't know how to be. I just thought that was interesting, so it seemed like maybe they were going into that, but at the same time it also seemed kind of weird. It's like, this isn't a side of Kiki that we've seen before, and it doesn't really seem to make sense that she would go along with working with these people after everything that she's done and how devout she is to the Coven. And of course that leads into the twist, which totally made sense, but I am still a little confused. Like, was the test literally just to test her loyalty and nothing else? Does she actually have some kind of higher duty or responsibility now? I guess it makes sense to be testing people because Lilith was the Coven leader before, and Bellows kind of tested her with the whole Ida turning to stone situation, and she failed. So maybe he's like really trying to make sure that he can trust the people in his inner circle before the Day of Unity comes. Man, there's a lot of romance going on in this episode, not just with Luz and Amity, but also getting back into it with Ida and Rain, and Luz like bawling over reading their story while listening to Rain's Rhapsody. Oh my god. But Rain was another unexpected twist. I didn't expect to see them again in this capacity. I expected them to remain a prisoner until closer to the end of the season, but I guess this makes sense because if they are going to keep Rain as the head of the Coven, then the Coven head is going to have to make an appearance in public and be loyal. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Ida overcomes this. I can tell that there's maybe another big boss battle coming. And it kind of seems like this whole review is going to be me listing a bunch of nice moments that I didn't expect, but another really nice moment I didn't expect was Willow and Amity, having a moment together, being close friends again. Now granted, it was to, kind of talk about her insecurities with her girlfriend, but we did get a nice scene for Willow, and again, I like small details coming full circle because M was there for Amity earlier in the season and was combing out her hair, and now Amity is there for Willow in a similar way. And I know that one of the general complaints with this season is that Willow has not gotten enough screen time, and I absolutely agree with that. So I hope that Willow is really going to either get her own episode or have another episode that features her heavily. But again, I also understand the position that they're in, is that with a shorter season 3, they may not have time to get to every single arc that they may have done otherwise, and Willow may just be a product of that. Because even all the way back to her first appearance in season 1, episode 3, when she loses control because she gets angry of her powers, I always thought that they might do some kind of villain arc, or at least verging on villainy arc for Willow because of everything that she suffered in her life and how out of control she can get with her powers. And there seemed to be little moments throughout season 1 that kind of hinted at that, but again, they just may no longer have time to get to it, so maybe now they just don't have as much of a story to incorporate for Willow. I don't know, I'm literally just guessing, and I'm not saying it detracts from the overall quality of the episode. It's also nice to kind of see Willow working out, improving her bicep game. I'm sure Luz would be impressed by that. And then the second half of the episode had some of my favorite moments so far. We had both the exchange with Ida and Rain, which was very emotional because Rain doesn't remember anything that they went through, and so that's still not resolved. And then Luz has to be honest with Amity, but thankfully, because Dana Terrace is the one doing the show, and she I think likes to avoid certain cliches when it comes to romance. It's not like, how could you lie to me, or no, Amity, I can't tell you the truth. They actually get to it in this episode, and again, the conflict is not resolved, mind you. There's still room for it to continue developing in future episodes, but I just really appreciate how they handle these two characters, that they are actually in a really good relationship, and they are really good people who are there for each other when they need it. And so I like that whole exchange, and I like that Luz is actually honest, because that makes it easier to address this plot going forward. And then perhaps the biggest surprise is Emperor Bellows actually revealing what he looks like under the mask, facial scarring and all, and we get more hints but also more questions at the same time about what the Day of Unity is. They're going to meet at the Titan's Head. He goes over stuff that we've talked about before, that the worthy shall inherit a utopia free of wild magic, but now the character's asking, well, what exactly does that mean? How do you completely get rid of wild magic? And Amity actually pointed out a detail that I had thought about when I first saw it, but then she reminded me of it and made me ask about it again, is that, wait, why did Bellows say that he was looking forward to meet you? Didn't you guys already meet? So I'm going to start theorizing, and again, I have not watched the trailer, I haven't read too many behind the scenes details or other fan theories, so what I say is going to be completely my opinion, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But what that makes me think of is because we know that there are two brothers, and one of them is probably Philip Woodabane. People have been speculating that the other brother is Bellows, or maybe he is Philip Woodabane, because if Bellows is one of the brothers, then it seems like one of them has to be gone up until this point. But now it's got me thinking, what if there are two of Bellows? I mean, if they are brothers, they would sound and look very similar, and Bellows keeps a mask on all the time, so maybe they take turns switching places, which is why one of them would have met Luz while the other one did not. Maybe why one of them is comfortable taking off the mask and one isn't. Because if you think about it, in that scene where Bellows first takes off his mask, he does seem to talk a little differently to Hunter than he did in previous scenes when he had his mask on, so maybe the two have different personalities. I don't know, maybe I have just a personal bias for that idea, because like, I'm gonna talk about Star Wars and the Star Wars sequel trilogy. You know, Supreme Leader Snoke looks one way in the first movie and has his own personality, but then for the second movie they kind of changed his design a bit and altered his personality a little. So, you know, even though I knew it wasn't gonna come true, especially once the third movie came out, I was thinking, well, what if there are, you know, two Snokes, like, and they just, you know, take turns taking each other's place, which is why one looks and acts a little differently from the other. And like, I think that'd be an interesting idea. So I know that it's probably not going to come true, and I'm probably overthinking it, but you know, Amity herself pointed at that line, and it is an interesting idea. So maybe both brothers are around, maybe they're both working together and they both take each other's place, and maybe one of them is like really suffering from a curse that's going out of control, and one of them just has some damage. So yeah, now I have more questions, but I am even more excited to get the answers. So there's really no better way to end the episode than the way they did, with Amity being like us, freaking out about all the questions, and Luz being like, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but we're just gonna take it one day at a time, and that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna take it one episode at a time, 1 week at a time, one revelation at a time, until we eventually get to the season 2 finale. So alright, so that was the Owl House mid-season 2 premiere. Now it's time for me to move on to recording my reaction for the Amphibia mid-season 3 premiere, which I'm just as excited for, because this is going to be the last season of Amphibia, and I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with that. So now I'll turn it over to you guys. What did you think of this mid-season premiere? What are your theories and speculations for the rest of season 2? What are you looking forward to the most? And how do you think things are going to wrap up? Whatever it is, feel free to share your thoughts down in the comments and let me know what you think. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. Also be sure to check out my other videos. It really does mean a lot. A big thank you as well to all of my patrons. Your guys' continued support really means